And this picture right here is making everyone ask, is Jayson Tatum on steroids? And I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. What's going on, guys? My name is Jake, and this is your Body Comp Prescription. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we're talking about Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum has been in the news recently in the sports world for a couple of pictures that have been going around the internet. Jayson Tatum is a professional basketball player for the Boston Celtics. I believe he's in his 4th season, going into his 5th season, something like that. So these pictures of Jayson Tatum are obviously when he was working out. He's probably working out with either his trainer or the team trainer. And he obviously looks really good here. He looks really lean, and he definitely looks like he put on some muscle. And this picture right here is making everyone ask, is Jayson Tatum on steroids? And there's a lot of people out there that are thinking that he's on some form of PED because that's the only way that you can make this kind of transformation. And now let me tell you why this is such a ridiculous claim. Jayson Tatum is only 23 years old, and I know there's like this ongoing joke about his age because when he was in his rookie season, every Jayson Tatum fan, anytime he would do something like crazy, they would always yell out, he's only 19. It doesn't really matter what he did, to be honest. He could drop 40 points and people would say he's only 19. He could be eating a sandwich and people would still say he's only 19, because saying that he's 19 makes everything seem a lot more impressive. And Jayson Tatum is confirmed to actually be 23, which means a couple of things. At 23 years old, he's physiologically in his prime to build muscle. Anywhere between the ages of 27 and 30 is when most people start to see slower and slower results when it comes to building muscle and athletic performance. But because he's still really young, there's still a lot of potential to build a whole bunch of new muscle tissue. You also have to consider what he does for a living. The NBA is a very cardio-demanding sport. So as this next season progresses, you'll probably start to notice that he doesn't look as full or quite as muscular. And that's because the main priority during the season is to play games, not necessarily build new muscle. So even though he might be in the weight room in between games and at practices, he's probably not prioritizing building muscle because then he would run the risk of being too sore, as well as hindering his performance when he plays. But in the offseason, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have to focus on winning games, so he can train a little bit differently, and he doesn't have to worry about being sore. Also, a lot of people are forgetting that Jayson Tatum is a top-tier athlete. Just think about that. People are so quick to accuse this guy of using PEDs, but forget he's like one of the best athletes on the planet. The guy is like a top 15, top 20 player in the NBA. He's just an incredible athlete with really, really good genetics. We can't forget about that either. And he probably doesn't train like a bodybuilder. So everything that he does in the gym is probably geared towards sport-specific things, like being explosive, core strength, or being able to take contact in a game. I think there's a lot of people getting thrown off by this 100-pound dumbbell that he's holding. There's probably a lot of people out there going, oh my god, that's so heavy, he has to be on steroids. But if I had to guess what he's doing, it looks like he's probably doing goblet squats. And 100 pounds on goblet squats is respectable, but there are tons of people that can do this. Normal people, people with average genetics, not necessarily pro athletes. And I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. A tan, good lighting, good angles, and a pump will make you look like a completely different person in your training photos. For example, this is me without a pump, bad angle, bad lighting, and pale as could be. And this is me with good lighting, a pump, and a tan. And in all seriousness, these things make a huge difference in how you look in your workout pictures. These are things that professional bodybuilders do all the time before they step on stage. They always tan so they look better in the lighting, and they're always doing push-ups or using bands to help pump up to make their muscles look more full. I want to give you guys an example. De'Aaron Fox posted this photo right here around the same time that those photos of Jayson Tatum started going around. And he's holding two, not one, 200-pound dumbbells. And it looks like he's doing split squats, which in my opinion are way harder than goblet squats. But this picture doesn't look quite as impressive, does it? It's because the lighting isn't nearly as good, the camera angle is a little off, and because of the way that he's holding the weight, he doesn't look quite as pumped. I do believe the NBA drug tested him after seeing that photo, but that's part of their job. They gotta check on their athletes. But no, Jayson Tatum isn't on steroids, and I don't think De'Aaron Fox is either. And if you watch the NBA, you've seen this before. Giannis, Joel Embiid, Dwight Howard, and many other cases as well. A lot of these players put on muscle throughout their career to help them get stronger and more durable, since basketball is a contact sport. And I'm a really big basketball fan, and I find it hilarious when these commentators go crazy about how some of these players put on muscle in the offseason. I remember a couple years back when the NBA bubble happened, Jamal Murray during quarantine put on 14 pounds. It seemed like every commentator in every single game was talking about Jamal Murray put on 14 pounds of muscle, he looks like he's in great shape. And the story was like he went from 201 to 215 pounds over the 4-month quarantine that they had in between the regular season and the bubble. and that he did that intentionally so that way he could become a better rebounder. He may have gained 14 pounds, but it definitely wasn't all muscle. No one can build 14 pounds of muscle in 4 months. Even with steroids or PEDs, it's still really hard to put on that much muscle in such a short amount of time. Most people, if they're lucky, can only build a couple of pounds of muscle per year. And that's assuming that your training, your nutrition, and your recovery are all on point. I don't know why, at least for basketball, why putting on muscle is such a big deal to everybody. Is it to be more dramatic? These players are such incredible athletes with amazing genetics, and it's part of their job to improve. And a lot of times that means you need to get stronger. A lot of the basketball players that come into the NBA end up being really skinny, so they need to put on muscle in order to compete. And if they're overweight, they're expected to get into shape. It's all a part of the job. Just remember that the next time you see an athlete training in the off season, it's not always drugs. You don't necessarily need steroids to look good in your gym selfies. So make sure you keep all this stuff in mind the next time you want to catfish someone on the internet with your workout photos. Make sure you're at least somewhat lean, find yourself some good lighting, figure out what angles are most flattering for you, and get a quick pump. But that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, make sure you subscribe for more content just like this. Don't forget to like the video and leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.